Oh, how you doing? Early this morning, once again, we putting in this work. Don't let my skin color fool you dealing with my faith. My skin color has nothing to do with my faith. But we're talking about church, the foundation. We're talking about the positive and the negative. That's what we're talking about today. Let's understand that we need to bring this up because there's too many people walking around here want to act like they holy and foul and because they read the Bible a little bit. Let me tell you something. Before we get into that real quick, we must pay all due respects to the Creator. The sun rises. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Amun. The sad thing about this negativity about church is that you got people walking around like they holy thou. I mean it. Now let me tell you something. It's not that they don't mean they holy and thou, or they feel this spiritual path they're walking on, but they happen to have the sheep's clothing, and they really still a wolf. That's because they're fighting themselves. They didn't free themselves, and they never freed and allow themselves to flow naturally, because dealing with religion has so much boundary, so much bound. Like he washed his car religiously. He read his Bible religiously. Or I got to read the Bible for 2 hours. Or I don't feel the Lord. This is how people are. You can read the Bible for 15 minutes and that's the end of that. But for each his own. But when you get those people walking around holy and thou and trying to speak that Lord preaching and all that kind of stuff, but then they closed doors, they wolves and they trying to come and have sex with females and use religion to have sex with females, and you got females who use religion to draw men in the congregation and try to marry these men and thinking they could change that man. You can't change no man. He gonna be what he want to be. Let's keep it real. But let's make it clear. There's some men that change their lives. This is the positive side. Some men have found beautiful women that really have a great heart and went to church, and the women, she says, she prayed to the Creator, and she said that she's looking for a man, and she was in church for 4 or 5 years, and this man came along and he decided he wanted just to go to church for the day, and they found this frequency between them two, and all of a sudden they're married for 5 or 10 years. They both are in the heart of the Lord, and this is what they believe. Their kids is stabilized, their kids is good behavior, but we know the children are going to go through what they go through. We understand that because it's a purity stage of life. Church, the positive and the negative. We got to keep it real. And then some of y'all, you come to work and you go to work and you sit up there. It's not that you preaching, but what you're doing is you trying to walk around like you holy and thou. You got some people in church who want to be more holy than someone else. You know what that is? Competition. Oh yeah. Don't get it twisted. Let's don't get it twisted, because you got some people are more, while they're in church, they're arrogant. Oh, you think people in church can't be arrogant? Then you're losing your mind. You're losing your mind. Then you got people who be stealing in church, taking the treasurer's money. It might not even be the treasurer himself or herself. You know what I mean? It could be somebody else and say, oh, I need to borrow money. But they're taking that money and getting drugs. They taking that money and getting liquor. They taking that money and going to the club. But they're telling you, oh, I need that money to help me for my reasons. Let me tell you something. I've been around several churches, and I've seen certain things that church have done in a positive way. I've seen it with my own eyes. So that's why I'm going with the negative and the positive. Because I've seen both sides. I've been in church where they sit there and demanded and said, you got to give contribution. You got to give more than $20. And I said to myself, excuse me? I mean, I thought you were supposed to give from your heart. I thought you were supposed to give from your heart. But some churches know it's more than heart. This is business. Because if you don't give more, how are they going to survive? Because they depend on the people's money to pay the bills. Oh, let's don't get it twisted. Let's don't get it twisted. You see, there's a negative and there's a positive. And brothers and sisters and gods and goddesses, you got to understand this. Some churches, they get so caught up in the hype. They got all kinds of music, musicians, and all kinds of things like that. So these people can come in there and just give that money. They got buckets. They got buckets right next to the seat so you can put that money down. And some people are so arrogant, they go, I'm giving God $500. I'm giving God $5,000, $10,000. I ain't putting my money in the bucket. I put my money on the pulpit, on the steps to the pulpit. Boom. They arrogant because they want you to know that they gave them $5,000.